Hello! Today I'm going to show you a very straightforward method for doing the clock with no flips. I say it's very straightforward as it involves only one calculation, whereas other similar methods involve many calculations. Additionally, I find it's very intuitive. The order of edges we'll be solving is bottom, right, top, left. Before we begin the solve, we will do an x2 rotation. Pin order. The order of pins for this method is the top two, the right two, the bottom two, and the left two, much like when scrambling. So although many people are used to the Pockman pin order, I think that this one will be very easy to get used to. What I will be describing in this tutorial is only the edges. I assume you know how to do the corners yourself. So, the first step is to look for any possible skips. Skips will happen when a dial matches the center. An edge dial matches the orientation of the center dial. On this solve, unfortunately, there are none, so we can pick a random side to start with. Alright, sorry, I re-scrambled while I figured something out. And once again on this new scramble, we still have no skips. So, I'm doing this scramble for the first time with you guys. Yeah, it doesn't really matter which side we start with. So first of all, we see that this bottom dial has to go anti-clockwise twice to reach the top dial. So the first number we memorize is -2. We see that this dial has to go clockwise once, so we memorize +1. The top dial has to move clockwise 5 times, so we remember +5. And this left dial has to go clockwise twice, so we remember +2. So our memorization so far is -2, +1, +5, +2. You can remember this however you like. So the way we'll actually be solving this, I'll demonstrate. Without solving the front, I'll just solve the back. When we flip it, we'll start off with the top 2 pins up and the bottom 2 down. We'll move the top ones however we need to, but the bottom ones we move +2. I hope that was the right memo for this one. No, it wasn't. It must have been -2. So let's go -2, -2. Sorry, I forgot because I'm trying to explain it as well. So what this does is it moves these ones. As I did a -2 on the other side, it corresponds to a +2 on this side, moving all of these clockwise. Really, we can just remember it as -2 to get this dial back to how the center is, but because we execute it from the other side and upside down, it's really moving all the other pieces to match this one. Next, we would have, oh man, I've forgotten. Was it +1? Yes, it was. +1. So on this side, we do +1 with the left pieces. That solves these 3. Next, we move the bottom pieces up and the top pieces down, and then we do +5, which solves the top piece. And finally, we solve the bottom left piece by doing the final memo +2. Remember that all of these memorized moves will happen on the side where the pins are down on the puzzle. So now all of the edges on this side are facing the same direction. Next, I will explain how to calculate the AUF on this face. Okay, I've set up a new scramble to show how to find the AUF. The memorization for this solve will be +2. Remember, this is the distance this cog must turn to match the center one. +2, +1, plus 4, and plus 3. Now, how I remember the AUF is actually not through a calculation, but I like to trace the pieces with my fingers. It might be faster to calculate it in your head if you're fast at mathematics. So, for this first one, we'll be doing plus 2, but what we'll actually be doing with the centerpiece is going to anti-clockwise. So I trace this to the 3 position. For the next one, plus 1, we'll be moving it 1 more anti-clockwise to the 2 position. This would be a plus 4, so we trace it back to the 10 position. And this would be plus 3, so we trace it back to the 7 o'clock position. What this means is that when we have finished matching all of the edges to the center, all of these edges will be facing the 7 o'clock position. In order to return these pieces to the 12 o'clock position, we'll have to turn them all clockwise by 5. But since we'll be executing this from the other side, we need to turn them anti-clockwise by 5. I will go over the memorization again for myself. Plus 2, plus 1, plus 4, plus 3. Okay, now we'll just do the edges again. Plus 2, plus 1, plus 4, plus 3, minus 5. So, plus 2, plus 4. That doesn't seem right, does it? Plus 2, plus... Oh, it must have been plus 1. I'll just undo 3. Plus 4. Plus 3. Okay, we can check to make sure that now we need to do a minus 5. That's right, so now we do our minus 5. And then our edges are solved on the back side. Here we have another scramble. Our memo is plus 3, minus 3, minus 5, minus 1. So our AUF will be plus 3, minus 3, takes us back here. So plus 5 will take us down to here, and then minus 1 will take us to here. So our AUF will be minus 4. Plus 3, minus 5, minus 1, minus 4. So, to start off with, we do plus 3 on the bottom. At the same time, we match these to the bottom edge here. Note that you can actually move both sides at the same time. So we can do our minus 3 on this side at the same time as doing the 2 on this side. I'll just demonstrate that you can move the pieces on both sides at the same time. Okay, and the final AUF, I believe, is minus 4. Now we solve the corners. Now I will give you some tips on how to utilize skips and other easy cases. So first of all, on this side, we have an edge that matches the center. So this would be a great side to start memorizing on, as it reduces the number of numbers we have to memorize, making it faster to memorize and trace. So first of all, we do not have to remember the first one, we remember it as 0. Then we also have to skip the tracing of that one, which makes things nice and easy. Secondly, on this scramble, I noticed that we have a plus 1 and a minus 1. These two cancel out in the tracing as well. What this means is that now, once all these 3 edges are solved, the center will still be facing the 3 o'clock position. When it moves to match the left clock face, it will be facing the 7 o'clock position. And it was that easy to trace it to the 7 o'clock position because I was able to skip the tracing of all these 3 pieces. It's +1, -1, -4, -5. But we skipped the first one. +1, -1, -4, -5. Okay, and now we solve the edges. So, thank you for watching. This is how you solve a clock with 1 flip and only 1 calculation. So if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Thank you.